Oh! If you thought I was not done with you, Barnett, I'm not done with you! I can imagine. Jessica feels like a fool. I'm scared of rejection. So you'd rather get the rejection on the outside when it's closer to your wedding than when you're in the pods where you can move on. That doesn't make sense to me. Give me a second. I need some water. My throat dry. I don't care about a ring. Throws it into the freaking pool. And I'm like, okay, cool. First of all, the directors gave you that ring, so you need to freaking take it back. You need to give it back to the people who actually bought it. I get out of this sentence is she's emotionally attracted to Mark. Like everything Mark says and does is like, oh, swaps here. But physically, she just can't get it. She just can't get it up for him. Like,
I ain't got a clue, bro. I said 5 in the morning. I wake up to 5 for my yearning. Fear in my mind is a warning. Pray to the one you're relying. I've been wandering all day. Try to be fine, but I can't be. The noise in my mind.
Then let's move on to, oh! If you thought I was not done with you, Barnett, I'm not done with you! Then, if it's the same episode or the next episode, you know what Barnett tells Jessica? He's like, oh, Jessica asks Barnett, she's like, it's the next day. She's like, oh, so what do you feel about like what you said last night? And he's like, oh, I'm not sure about it anymore. What do you mean you're not sure anymore? Which told me less than 24 hours ago. You're not sure? You're not sure? You're not sure? He's like, I'm not sure about my feelings. Like what I said the other night, I will break through this glass and pound on you, sir. I will break your nose. What do you mean? And Jessica is, mind you, because, oh, I forgot this part because it's a very important part. Mark told Jessica from the start, you are the only person I want, you're the only person I need. Mark is only talking to Jessica. Mark is like, listen, Mark and Jessica have like a 10-year age gap. That's the problem because Jessica is 10 years older than Mark and she has like a little problem with that. So when Mark is like, I want you, like you are the only person for me, I want kids, I want marriage, she's like, oh, but you're 24. That's the only thing that was holding her back. And she liked Barnett more. To be completely fairly honest, I'm not gonna lie, she liked Barnett way more. But when Barnett said, I want to propose to you, she's like, okay, you know what, we need to cut it off. We need to, with the Mark, we need to snap it off because my husband said he wants to propose to me. He wants to put a ring on my finger. So when Barnett told Jessica that, oh, it's a bit hot, that, oh, babes, I want to marry you, she was like, okay, cool, no problem, I'm gonna lock it off with Mark. So Jessica cut it off with Mark. She's like, listen, I have another connection with someone else. I don't think it's fair for you anymore. Mark is sad. Mark is crying. I don't know. I don't remember if he cried. Mark is sad. And then tomorrow, like yesterday, she just cut it off with Mark because her husband said, oh, I want to be with you. Today, that so-called husband is like, oh, I'm not sure anymore. I can imagine. Jessica feels like a fool. She feels like a fool because she's just like, bro, I was kind of the person who told me he wanted me and me only, for you who treated me like an option. You know what Barnett treated her like? He treated her like a job interview or a job proposal so he could get higher stakes in his current job. Like, oh my god. Like, Jessica was livid Because, like, bro, don't play with me. I can understand why she was livid. Jessica was fuming. She went back. She told Amber, she's like, listen, I don't trust Barnett because he told me this, that, and the third, and today he decided to change his mind. But Amber, you know, Amber is not like phased in the slightest. Amber's like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, let me tell you something. There was no one as secure as Amber. Amber, Lauren, the most secure people ever. Amber was secure because she was like, I'm that girl, and that's my man, and nobody's gonna take him from me. But Lauren was secure because she's like, that's my man, he loved me, I ain't even stressed about it. Bernadette was hopping here, and there, and Amber was like, you know what, he's gonna hop and pop like a freaking rabbit, but he's always gonna come back home. But anyways, after Jessica told Amber all that, whatever, she runs. Because I can imagine, she ran. Before anyone else could go to Mark, she ran to Mark. She apologized, like, baby, I'm sorry. I don't know what got into me. I really thought he loved me, okay? He played around with my emotions. He made me not remember how good you were for me. I am so sorry, baby. And she got Mark back because Mark is a simp for her. I'm not lying, it's the truth. Mark was a simp for her. Now we go to another couple, which is Damien and Giannina. Damien and Giannina, they were babies. They were like, oh my god, yes. They loved each other, and Damien proposed to Giannina, and Giannina also in turn proposed to Damien. You know what? Good for them. Good for them. Another couple was Kelly and Kenny, and they were just like, you know, they seemed like that old little married couple that everyone's like, oh my god, they're gonna be together for years. They're gonna be together for years. That's all. Like, in the pods, they didn't really have drama or anything interesting like that. Then we have Carlton and Diamond. Carlton is a, he has a fluid sexuality, but he hadn't disclosed that with Diamond. Now, this is what irks me. I get it that sometimes there can be backlash because of his sexual fluidity. But if you had gone through dates, okay, day 1, 2, 3, 4, when you're trying to get to know people, you don't have to tell them. But you talk to Diamond day 5, day 6, day 7, and you decided that this is the woman that I love. Why didn't you tell her? Because he's like, oh, I'm scared of rejection. So you'd rather get the rejection on the outside when it's closer to your wedding than when you're in the pods where you can move on. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, that wasn't fair, and also that doesn't make sense. Like, you should have come clean and told Diamond while you were in the pods so that she could digest and be like, okay, you know what? Do I want this for my life? Because you put her in an awkward situation, Carlton. You put her in an awkward situation. And I'm about to get into that. But basically, he didn't tell her about his sexual fluidity all the way until the honeymoon. He didn't tell her nothing. Zero. Then we are getting into the honeymoon. Other couples have gotten engaged. They were like, oh my god, yes I do. So these are the recap of the couples. We have I forgot to tell you guys who Barnett chose between Elsie and Amber. Guess who? He chose Amber. He chose Amber. So these are the couples currently. Lauren and Cameron, Giannina and Damien, Diamond and Carlton, Amber and Barnett, Kenny and Kelly, and finally Jessica and Mark. Now they're entering their honeymoon. Night 1 of honeymoon. Carlton decides this is the perfect time to tell Diamond about my sexual fluidity. Good that you came out, good that you came forward early. I wish you would have done it earlier. But let me tell you something. Carlton told Diamond, and he started crying. Now Diamond, as the beautiful sister she is, she's comforting him. She's rubbing his back. it's okay, baby. Just let it out. We can talk through it. Let's just, let's just see what happens, It's okay. No, actually, she didn't say we can talk through it. She's like, it's okay. Just let it out. Let it out. Let your emotions out. It's okay. And mind you, he didn't tell her because he wanted to tell her. He told her because Diamond's like, listen, I know your vibe, but something's up. Something's just like making you uncomfortable around here. Like something's not clicking. So if she didn't say that, he would have dragged it along. So now, they decide to go their separate ways that night. Carlton goes and sleeps in one room. Diamond goes and sleeps in another room. And they're going to regroup tomorrow. The next freaking day. Diamond's sitting at the swimming pool. She's just, taking in the, little, was it Mexican air or something. They're just enjoying the vibe. Carlton comes over. And Diamond's like, I feel like you weren't truthful with me. Because you could have told me this from the beginning. And we could have found a way maybe to work through it. But right now, I feel like you were a liar. And you weren't like being serious with me. And honestly, I can understand where she comes from. Because you can't just spring that on someone when you could have done that in the stage when you were supposed to be getting to know them. When you were supposed to be telling her about you were supposed to tell her, listen, I've dated men in my past. And whether or not she agrees with that would have been fine in the pods, because guess what? You can date other people. But now you've decided this is the woman I want. Now you want to push it on her. That's not fair. You know what? Give me a second. I need some water. My throat dry. Cool. Yeah, I needed that. Okay, let's move on. Where are we? Oh, we're still here. Okay, so in the morning, now they get into it. They're fighting. They're shouting in the resort. She's like, yeah, I don't think you were like being truthful with me. He's like, yeah, you see, because you're judgmental. I don't want to talk to you. First of all, if you want someone to marry you, why would you want to marry someone who's judgmental against you? Like, if you knew she was judgmental, why did you want to marry her? Make it make sense, Mr. Carlton. So, he's like, yeah, you're so judgmental. That's why I didn't want to tell you. And he says, and I quote. Oh, mind you, before this, she's like, I'm giving you your ring back. He's like, I don't care about a ring. Throws it into the freaking pool. And I'm like, okay, cool. First of all, the directors gave you that ring, so you need to freaking take it back. You need to give it back to the people who actually bought it. And then, he's like, matter of fact, he says this word for word. I'm gonna bleep out one of the words because we can't say it on YouTube, but it's a female dog. He's like, he says, that's why I don't deal with like you. And I was like, someone that you say you claimed you love, wanted to be the woman of your dreams, your wife. You call her, that's what you call her. That's what you call her. You're joking. You're joking with your freaking life. What do you mean? What do you mean? Me. Diamond is better than me. Diamond is better than me. Because I would have drowned him in that pool. I would have thrown him in that pool. What do you mean? What do you mean? How dare you? You call me the woman that you love and then you call me out of my name like that? That's crazy. But you know what? Diamond dodged the bullet. I'm so glad that she dodged that bullet so quick. So quick. So freaking quick. Anyways, and it's a very hot day. Needed. Anyways, next. Everybody goes into their like little honeymoon bubble. Oh my god, yes, baby. Oh my god, yeah. Whatever. And now after like day 1 or 2, they get like introduced and integrated with the rest of the group. So this is the first time that they're all seeing each other like face to face. So Jessica sees Barnett and she's like, oh my god, he is my type. Yeah, Jessica really, I was like, yeah, he is my type. But yeah, when they're kikiing and kakaing and ha-haing, the girls go separate, the boys go separate. The girls and boys start talking about whether they have been intimate with their partners. And Amber and Barnett, Lauren and Cameron, Gigi and Damien all have been intimate with their partners. But Jessica and Mark and Kelly and Kenny have not. They've decided to wait. Now, as they're saying this, man, as the rest of the guys are like, yeah, you know, we have a couple nights, as the rest of the guys are saying that, the camera cuts to Mark and he is basically downing his champagne. He's just like, I don't want to talk about this because I ain't get none. He's just downing his champagne, just like, get me out of this situation. And it's so horrible. It is horrible, honestly. Anyways, it was like, I need to show the clip here or something. Then he was just doubting his champagne. He was like, no, I'm not gonna talk about this. But anyways, oh my god, I look so pretty. Anyways, Jessica says that she's struggling to connect the Mark in the pod and the physical Mark. What I get out of this sentence is she's emotionally attracted to Mark. Like everything Mark says and does is like, oh, swaps here. But physically, she just can't get it. She just can't get it up for him. Like, it's like that nice guy that's like there for you and everything. And you're like, oh my god, like I should be dating you. But physically, he's just not giving your type. And that's something that people need to understand. I know it's horrible and it sounds like very mean, but like physical like attraction to your partner, I'm not saying that you have to be, oh my god, head over heels over here. Like, I'm not saying that you have to like want a sculpted person, but they need to be attractive to you. That is very important. They need to be attractive to you. Personally, that's how I feel. So yeah. What's next?